All right, welcome everybody. I'm going to give it just a couple of seconds here, wait for people to filter in from the waiting room before we get going. Usually doesn't take too long. All right, perfect. Let's get going. Welcome everybody. This is another MotoQuest webinar. We are, as always, really excited to be doing these things. We're very passionate about all these destinations, and we're passionate to share our knowledge with you about these destinations. So welcome. This one is on Portugal. We have a couple of people here with us. Special guest of honor, Fernando Aleixo, the one and only. He is our main man for Portugal and some of our South American tours. We, of course, have the founder of MotoQuest, Mr. Phil Freeman, here with us as well. And then we also have the general manager of MotoQuest, Brendan Anders, who is kind of the Wizard of Oz on this one in the background, answering questions, handling up logistics, and that kind of thing. So we will be your hosts for today. A couple of quick little reminders, housekeeping notes before we get rolling on this one, guys. We do encourage you to ask questions. If you have a question about something, there's probably two or three other people in the chat that have that same question. So please ask us questions as they pop up. We probably won't answer it right away. We usually break intermittently throughout the webinar, every 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and we'll answer all the questions that have accumulated up to that point. When you are asking those questions, please use the Q&A feature. If you look at your screen at the very bottom, there'll be a couple of different buttons on the row. We want you to use the Q&A feature as much as possible just to keep the chat clean and free. So if you do that, that would be helpful. We also, one more note here, if you are looking at this on mobile, if you're looking at this on your phone or tablet, something like that, it's going to be a much more enjoyable experience for you if you just turn it into landscape mode. You'll be able to see the pictures that Phil is presenting much more clearly, and it'll just generally be a better experience for you. And one last note here before we get going, I hand it off to Phil and Fernando. We are also going to be recording this webinar. We have recorded all the webinars that we've done. This one is going to be no exception. So if you have to leave early for whatever reason, or if you're coming in late, no worries, no harm, no foul. We will record the entire thing and put it up on our YouTube channel later today or tomorrow. So with that being said, without further ado, I'll hand it off to you, Phil.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Dax. Brendan, as always. Really great to have Fernando on board for this one. I met Fernando many years ago, and he is a Portuguese. He's from Portugal, and he always talked how nice it is over there. And we made a program over there, and he has been part of those tours over there from the get-go. And I feel really honored that he has some time to take out of his day to be with us. As always, I'd like to start with a quote. Whether life is short or long, all we possess is the present, and all that matters is what we do in it. We are going to Portugal today, and I want to talk about uh, the things to see, the things to eat, the places to ride, and our itinerary. And when you have any questions, just throw them into the question dialogue, and I will be stopping throughout the webinar and answering them, and so will Fernando. So just briefly, let's go through a little bit. This is our itinerary. And this is an explorer style tour, which means that we stay 2 and 3 nights at many locations so that you can just spread your wings and go in all directions or not. Relax at the hotel or do a good loop ride. Everything's at your fingertips. You can literally get to know Portugal, all of it, in one setting. It's a great ride. Uh, Here's an idea. If you have any questions, just throw this. This will be at the bottom of your screen, and you can put those in there. And I'll be stopping, like I said, periodically, and we'll be answering those. Let's take a look at the dates for the Portugal Explorer. When we put this together, we wanted to make sure that we hit seasons that weren't too hot, weren't too cold, weren't too crowded. Basically Goldilocks windows. And as you can see, we offer it twice a year on the public scale, and you can join in the fall or in the spring. This is 11 days of adventure with 2 days added on the beginning and ending of each trip. So a total of 13 days. And this is not only for these are the public dates, but if you have a group of 6 riders or more, give us a call. We can put you in a private tour and we'll do the same itinerary and we can also customize it. And it can be at a different time of year or it can sit on these dates, provided that we don't already have guests signed up for it. So, what is there? Is this tour right for you? Uh, well, I'd like to say yes, but let me talk about a couple of the things. It's all paved. It's great riding. It's great for couples. It's great for single riders. The hotels are top. They're all spa hotels, so they have those facilities. And it's almost limitless to the activities and roads that you can explore during this trip. You don't all have to get married, but we did have one couple that did. And you're going to see some wonderful, different landscapes from mountains to vineyards to coast, and a lot of history. And if you always want to have a quick reference, you can go to motoquest.com, or if you put Portugal and MotoQuest into the Google machine, this page will pop up and this should answer most of your questions. And you can also, when it comes time, register right there. There's a portal and join us over in Portugal. Portugal has a lot of really cool things. They have great wine, great food, profound history from medieval to Roman. It's amazing. I'm an Alaska boy, so we don't have any of that. And I just wanted to recap this. These are the areas that we're going. Um, and I just one more thing before I pause for questions. I wanted to introduce to you one more very valuable commodity of Portugal, and that is Fernando Aleixo. And he is an amazing individual. He is incredibly funny, but I think he's even a better foodie. And he's spent time all over the country showing people Portugal, even walking trips in Lisbon, even bus trips. He's done it all. He knows Portugal in and out. He knows all the holes in the wall for really good food, cool things to see, and history. You can't be with a better person while you're in Portugal. His wingman is João, and together they have led our trips. João generally drives the truck, and Fernando is making the decisions inside a motorcycle helmet. And this is a good example of Fernando during a day briefing where he'll go over the cool things that you're going to see today before you go riding. Um, I'm going to pause right now and see if we have any questions.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. We got two questions in the chat right now. Bobby M is asking, it must be quite warm there right now. What are the better months for this ride to avoid very hot or very cold weather?
Fernando.
Well, the dates that we picked were based on the weather. Obviously, we had trips throughout the years that we had some rains, trips that we had to change the itinerary or at least the route during the day because of wildfires. But I would say these are the best dates to visit Portugal. The chances of rain. Look, we go from sea level to 2,000 meters high, which I don't know in feet or miles, but it's high. And so and we go from the coast inland. And so we get all sorts of weather. We picked these dates exactly because of the situation with the weather. But usually the weather is quite mild. It's not that we have hurricanes or things that would keep us inside the hotel for more than a few hours.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and Bobby actually just asked a follow-up question to that, which is, it doesn't sound like he has any experience riding in the rain. What can he expect? And it sounds like the riding in the rain should be minimal.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry, just picking up with what Phil said, since that we have this this chance of staying in the same hotel for more than one night. We had situations where people just want to use the spa or walk around town or just ride the morning or just ride the afternoon, and so it's quite easy to manage that situation.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about those explorer trips. They're very flexible for that kind of thing. And then I have one more question here. Do you have any tips for somebody who needs to increase their stamina? You know, this can be a lot of riding, right? It's 11 days. You know, what would you say to somebody that only rides on weekends, maybe 70, 80 miles a day?
Look, again, we have days. We start in Lisbon. We move the first day. We move the second day. When you get to the third day, you can stay at the hotel if you're not comfortable. And again, you can just ride the morning, just ride the afternoon. You know, meet us at lunch or leave the group at lunch. We have João with the van that can bring you back or can take you to back to the restaurant or back to the hotel. So it's not. I wouldn't say it is demanding in that aspect. On the other hand, we'll be using a lot of back roads as much as possible. And when I say back roads, I'm talking paved municipal roads, as we call them here. But we always be very close to highways, meaning at some point, if you want to just follow the van and be at the hotel in 40 minutes, it's fine. If you want to ride for another 3 hours, you just follow me. So uh, I would say it's quite easy to manage in that aspect.
I would like to add a little bit too because, you know, I work on a motorcycle. I'm day in and day out on a motorcycle, so I'm used to it. But I would say that get into a little bit of an exercise regime, something that strengthens your core, gets the cardiovascular up every day. You're just going to benefit from it, not only in motorcycling, but all aspects of life. But it definitely makes motorcycling easier if you're going to do it day in and day out. If you do, you know, a few exercises, especially for the core.
Phil and I have different perspectives here. I'm more of going from the motorcycle to the restaurant and from the restaurant to the motorcycle again, and that's the way I like it. But
We're
I
both
understand.
we're both working on the core.
Yes.
All right, perfect. That's all we got for now, guys. Thank you.
All right. So you're going to start in Lisbon, and Lisbon is fascinating, beautiful, safe, comfortable, historic. So many things. Restaurants in all directions. You can meander there for hours, days. For you could pick Fernando's brain before you get there. I highly recommend you get there a day or two early and just kind of ease into the culture. Lots to do, lots to see there. Everything has been touched by history there. We always get good hotels there. This is an example of one. Not bad with a pool overlooking Lisbon. Walking the streets at night, completely safe, beautiful. Lots of places to eat. And you know, I try to stay away from mainstream tourist things, but I did take one of these one day, and man, was it cool just to go around and kind of get your bearings in Lisbon. And it's incredible to think how many years ago all of this started. And the Portuguese Empire and its influence, it permeates through every street, every alley, every plaza when you're in Lisbon. And so I want to take us to the first day. We're going north along the coast, basically, by da Foz, which is mostly famous for the largest waves in the world. And you're going to stay near the coast the first day for one night. And here are some photos along the way. Not bad to start the day. Once you get away from Lisbon, there's always plenty of good food along the way. And like Fernando said, we like to choose not the main thoroughfare, but of course the most liked by motorcycle way to go. This is a picture of Figueira do Foz, and when you look over the cliffs here, you can see the largest waves in the world crashing against the shore. And so that would be your first day along into Portugal. I'm going to stop briefly to see if there's any any questions before I move into the next destination? Uh,
Yep, we got one question here. And this is about the Explorer format of the trip. So, with the Explorer tours, is there still a support car? Can a passenger take a break in the van if they're tired of riding as a passenger? Just talk a little bit more about what makes the Explorer different and what's involved there.
Explorer Tour is a series of tours that we've been offering for a few years now, and it's actually becoming our most popular because it has so many options. Um, you stay 2 to 3 nights. You can explode your luggage and just keep it that way in your room. You're not moving. We do have a support van, and it's at your service. If you want to do something that's off the bike, that's a really cool thing that you heard about, or you want to go see. That's at João and that truck they're at your service. And also every day, and we do a WhatsApp group internally for each group. So the discussion starts about what you want to do each free day. And Fernando has really good loops. He has ideas. For example, out of Chavez, which is the northern, right along the northern border there, you can go east or west and have an absolutely great day ride. There are national parks, beautiful side roads, everything, and get back at a reasonable time, and uh, and then the next day rinse and repeat. Just go a different direction. So that's the whole idea of the Explorer, and we find that people really enjoy the ability to choose their own adventure.
If I may, the fact that we, for example, Chaves, and we do the same thing in Covilhã. The fact that we do one loop east and one loop west, and sometimes we just decide that in the morning where we're going to see how the weather is holding on one side or the other, and so that's another advantage that we have in this tour. We can try to avoid the rain as much as possible.
Perfect. Okay, that's all the questions for now.
All right. So these past two slides are showing two example loops that we do out of Chavez. And here's some photos of the surrounding area. This is the town. That is a Roman bridge. And it was known in Roman times as a thermal hot springs regeneration place. And the hot springs are still there today. A cute, quaint town. And then the writing is very agrarian in each side. You can go east or west and go right into the mountains, be in timeless little towns. You're passing old medieval castles. I'm always throwing in a food pick because there is food out there.
Sorry, I sent a few of those. So
Here's the traffic pattern on one of the day rides out of Chavez, and just cool, out of the way, curvaceous country roads. Here's one of the restaurants that Fernando knows about. Kind of a hole in the wall next to a castle. Kind of fun. And oftentimes, if you're independent minded, you can strike out on your own, or we can divide and conquer with our staff and go one direction or and another direction in the same day and just check out different things and talk about what we saw at dinner. Like, for example, how Olivier ended up in jail. I still want to know how he did that. Or you can get married along the border of Spain if you want. We're here's a point to point from Chavez down to Colillan, and this goes right through the Douro Valley, which is known for wine. The Romans even that was one thing they were really good at. And when you this ride is absolutely beautiful, and you get to go through, groves of cork trees, vineyards. Uh, the landscape is constantly mountainous and curvaceous, and it's a great day ride.
Yeah, I would like just to add, especially for the September trip, because it's the when the grapes are harvested. It's amazing to ride that valley. The smell that as you go from up and down the valley along the river, it's really nice to ride that valley. And the one of the roads that we're gonna do is the national road, so we call it M222, which like if you go like to check the top roads that there are in Europe to ride, this is one of the roads that we're gonna use. And in fact, the Douro Valley is an amazing deep valley where the Douro River, that is the river that ends in the city of Porto, where the port wine is produced. So as you know, we don't allow drinking during the day, but you can buy as many bottles and then drink when we get to the hotel.
Now, that is a 3 night stay in Chavez, and now we have another 3 night stay in Covilhã. And the great thing about Covilhã is it sits right next to the national park, da da Estrela. And this is the national park that has the highest mountain point in all of the country. And it's high alpine. You're over 6,000 feet. And needless to say, the riding is phenomenal. Any questions that are popping up at all, Dax, till now?
Yep, just one question. This is a motorcycle trip first and foremost. What kind of motorcycles do we have available for this trip? Do they come
Oh,
with
that's a great
panniers,
question.
top cases, luggage? Talk about that.
Yes. Let's talk about motorcycles. BMWs, the GS line. So you can get a 750, an 850 GS, a 1250 GS, and a 1300 GS. You're going to have a top box on it for sure, and that can be used as a backrest. And you can get side cases on it as well. If you want a tank bag, you need to provide it on your own, and you can get one of those universal fit tank bags online. And if you sign up, when you sign up for a trip with MotoQuest, you're going to get a 20% discount off of RevZilla, a one-time purchase. We'll give you a code so you can shop and get all the necessities. And we send out a packing list before you go, so that can kind of guide you to outfit your bike even a little bit more.
Let me just add, Phil, that we have the van with the cooler and cold water. Joel will be always, maybe not in the same road, but we have meeting points along the days, and so you just need to carry your camera, something that you need for that day that we're if it's not a day that we're moving from point to point. And it's you will travel light, which is nice, and you can enjoy the road and the bike.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brendan has a good point here. He threw it in the chat for everyone, but I'll just reiterate it here as well. Going into 2027 next year, we're going to have all the new GSs as well. So the F800 GS, the F900 GS, and then the 1300s. But that's all the questions for now.
Great. Here's an example of just a spectacular loop through that national park out of Covilhã. And I don't know how you could beat it if you like curves, elevation changes. Here, let me show you a little bit. There's nothing wrong with these days spent here. And like Fernando says, you can go through this park twice in 2 days, two different ways, or you could spend one day on the park and then go the other direction the other day. And everything's on the table in terms of, direction and where to go. And you can look at the weather too to kind of determine what day you want to ride what area. And I don't know. I mean, you could basically ride all the best roads in this itinerary in the country of Portugal. in one trip. This is I just have to say this is an extra special place to ride. So I put in a couple more photos. This is the town of Colvillien. It's a university town, and some of our riders like to take a half day or so and just kind of walk around. It's perched on a mountainside and um, historic. Here's an example of one of the hotels. Not all of them, but this one does have a buffet, and it's excellent. But usually, what we'll do is we'll decide on a restaurant in the night. It won't necessarily be the hotel, and these are spa hotels, so you have those services as well. But we wanted to make this nice. Now, if we head south even further down to Evora. And these are side roads that go through cork trees and vineyards again and back roads of Portugal. These
Olive trees.
olive trees too. And this is the drier part, right, of the country. And it is historic and nostalgic. It's off the tourist track. Évora is an interesting and it's the best preserved medieval citadel in Portugal. And we wanted to budget 2 nights here because if you're a history buff, you just absolutely have to go see it. But there's also great riding to do, and you can do a half day of riding and then a half day of wandering around the town as well. We wanted to make it so that you could see as much as possible.
It's a really nice area to do some wine tasting, for example, in one afternoon, or go see a cork factory. The way the cork is treated and processed until it gets to us, or to try some different types of olive oil. It's quite an interesting city.
And as you can see, you have Roman ruins there as well as medieval ruins. They're all juxtaposed on top of each other. It's a labyrinth of history there.
It's a lasagna of history.
A lasagna of history. Here's a cork tree. You're going to be going by thousands of them, and you're going to wonder if you actually had wine from a, the cork of one of these trees. I know I did. Here's an example of one of the hotels we've used in the past, and not too bad. All right. Any questions that you have by chance, Dax?
Just have one more question here from Bobby asking what's the lightest bike for this tour? And I think I can probably answer this one, Bobby. For sure, the F 800 is going to be the lightest motorcycle. It's still not light by any means. I think the wet weight on that bike is probably about 500 pounds. But to see how it's are pretty low, it is a very manageable bike to move around. So if you're worried about weight, I would definitely go for the F 800. I think that's going to be the move.
Two, we're at MotoQuest, we will find a bike that fits you in the country of that we're offering. So if you go down to the dealer and you throw a leg over it and you think, I don't know about that. Let us do a little bit of research. We're real good at finding something that will fit you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have one more question that popped in here just as we were talking. What is the status of our fall Portugal trip? Is it confirmed? Is it full? Is it somewhere in the middle?
The status is good. It is confirmed.
Nice. Love to hear that. And then I got one more question here from Bari asking, what is the highest elevation during the tour? Fernando, you had mentioned, you go from
It's
sea
it's
level.
it's yeah, we go to the highest point in continental Portugal, which is 1,993 meters. And I'm sorry because we use this random meter thing. But then we built a tower of 7 meters so it could get to 2,000. So that's the highest point in Portugal. So I don't know, 2,000. It's I don't know, 7 million feet. I have no idea.
That's where that tower I bought these slippers.
Exactly.
Nice. A little memento. I like it. Perfect. And then I got one more question, another one that popped in here as we were talking. We got TL asking, could his wife join the trip as a non-rider and travel in the support vehicle? And also, what do you recommend for travel insurance?
Oh, Fernando, you want to answer the passenger one?
Yeah, of course she can travel with the support vehicle, but it won't be as fun. The van won't do the same roads for obvious reasons. You saw some of the pictures of the roads that we're going to ride, but yeah, that's something that she can do.
Yeah, we've had that in the past, and since the roads are so curvaceous, it's more feasible for the support vehicle to meet us along the way at certain intersections. So they will be going a different way, but they'll be staying with the group, of course, for all the meals during the day and also all the activities in the evenings too. And as for travel insurance, we we can recommend it, but we won't recommend a travel insurance that's, better or worse than anything Google will recommend. We've had guests in the past try Travel Guard, for example, and they were happy with it. And then we've had people try travel insurance and they were unhappy with it. So before you choose one, make sure that you do a little bit of diligence about how they've provided their services. But we do know this that anything can happen, and most people don't get travel insurance. But when they do, we've seen it save the day. There might be an extra step of some paperwork, but you never know what's going to happen until the moment you get on that plane or what happens during your trip. If you get an injury early on or something, just happens out of the blue, at least you're covered.
Yeah.
Let me just add that the places where we're staying, they all have major hospitals, major public and private hospitals, and the areas that we're going to ride, we always have cell coverage. Maybe here and there in the bottom of the valley, in the middle of the trees, you won't have any signal, but we'll be fine in that aspect.
Perfect. That's all we got for now,
Ooh,
guys.
I want to add one more thing too. All participants on all of our tours are enrolled in Global Rescue, and that is an extraction service. So, no questions asked. You will be taken to the best care of your choice, and they will also recommend choices for you at no cost. Now, you will have to provide information in order to get reimbursed, but you are taken care of. You will be taken to first care as fast as possible. Uh, Okay, so to complete our Explorer tour, what we wanted to do was give you the very extremities of the country. So this little town called Sagres, which is the most south and west point of the entire continent of Europe, is our last destination. We stay very near a little lighthouse that overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, and you are staring out towards the New World. Uh, and you can only imagine as you look back through history how many ships have headed out that way, exploring through history. And it's not too far from Lisbon. So what we'll do is we'll wrap up the trip here, and this will be our last night on the road. And you get to enjoy ocean breezes and country roads. for one last time before we get back to Lisbon. Um, and as for Lisbon, we do recommend you do come in a day or so early, but some people like to linger too, and I don't blame you. This is a great place to just kind of unwind after a busy day. And we're winding down to the last uh, slide, which is this one. And I wanted to just show, first of all, Fernando having a good time in his element, and also fantastic riders that have taken a chance, to come with MotoQuest, and they're having a great time too. And we just want to welcome you to join us. And in Portugal, you'll love it. You'll love the food. You'll love the people. And if you like history, you're going to be right where you want to be. And the riding, well, it's really wonderful. And so, if there's any last questions, this is a good time to get to shout out.
Yep, just one question here in the chat. A couple more might filter in just as we're talking here. This one is about the capital, Lisbon. How much time do we spend in Lisbon on the tour? If you wanted to really explore the city, how much time should you budget either before or after the trip to do that?
Fernando?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, in terms of what the tour is, you will arrive on a Sunday, I believe. So we start with the welcome dinner on a Sunday, and then we hit the road Monday, and then we arrive to Lisbon, I believe, Wednesday night for the for the farewell dinner, and then you would fly off on the next day on Thursday. I believe it's something like this. But I would say, I mean, I'm biased in this thing, but it depends. You can stay in Lisbon forever. I mean, you can go down the rabbit hole of the tiles, of the wine, of the food, but I would say maybe 3 days. Prepare to walk a lot. Lisbon is it's a very hilly city, but many of the districts in Lisbon, cars are not even allowed to go in. So you have to explore the city walking, and obviously I would recommend going to Sintra, which is like 30 minutes west of Lisbon. It's part of the Lisbon metropolitan area, and spend one day in Sintra. So I would say 3 days, and also for you guys that are coming from the other side of the Atlantic to adjust in terms of jet lag. I would say 3 days would be a good
Um,
idea.
I got a question for you, Fernando.
You're not allowed to make questions, so
Hey, come on, just one. Um, why would you go to Portugal? You've traveled all over the world, and I know you're Portuguese, but why would someone come to
look,
Portugal?
look. Portugal has the history, as the food, as the landscape, as the nature, as the beach, as the weather. And again, I know I'm biased relative to this, but I usually say I believe one of the biggest mistakes that we made in this country was not marketing our products and our country. We have as good as smoked meats as the Spanish. We have as good wines as the as the French, and we drive as good as the Italians, you know. But you associate the wines and the driving and the smoked meats with these countries, but we do have all of these things. And one of the things that I like, now talking personally in terms of guiding in Portugal, it's that you always have an option. If this road is closed, if people want to go ride another hour, if people want to go to the hotel, you always have plenty of options to deal along the day. It's not that even when we're moving from point A to point B, it's not that you only have that gas station in the middle of nowhere to have lunch. So, and this is what I like. And then, as I was saying, you can go down these rabbit holes of the history of the surf, of the music, of the. You always have something that you can pull, and that's what I think it's interesting.
Very nice. And one more question here to close out the webinar. Bobby again asking any other European destinations in the future for MotoQuest?
Well, we have our eyes on everything, but we're growing small. We are a boutique country, We are looking to open up something. Our next step in Europe, to be honest, is to reignite our Isle of Man TT and our Isle of Man, and we're going to start an Isle of Man Manx GP trip for now. And we're as we sit today, it's already almost sold. It is sold out, the TT, but the Manx is a kind of an offbeat, more of a vintage style trip, and that one is where the locals go when they want to watch fast motor races on country roads. So that's on our list. And then we're looking at Europe, but we would like to hear from you because we've been known to have 3 or 4 inquiries on a particular destination, and we do our due diligence. We have operator connections all over the world that we do not use, and we are excited to open up another place. And we don't have any barriers to where we will go. We've done private tours in Italy, Switzerland, Spain, France, and we in Romania. So everything's on the table. So we ask you to tell us, where would you like to go, and what would you like to do? One of my ideas was the highest 10 passes in Europe. Why not? But we'd love to hear from you and develop something.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that is it for our Portugal webinar, everybody. Thank you for coming again. Like we said at the beginning, we have recorded this and we will throw it up on our YouTube page here shortly. So keep your eyes peeled. You should receive an email to that recording later today or tomorrow. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Fernando.